Have you ever noticed that after a meal, you feel really tired and a little bit sleepy? I used to think that that was just normal and that you feel sleepy after eating because your body was digesting food. I also thought that feeling tired all the time was just what it was for me because I was an introvert and therefore I had less energy than more extroverted people. It turns out that the way that I was eating was at least part of the reason why I felt tired all the time and why I had a lot of dips in my energy and my mood. I've had issues with high blood sugar for a while. When I was 24, my doctor told me that I was pre-diabetic and that it was only a matter of time before I got type 2 diabetes. When I was pregnant, I was diagnosed with pregnancy diabetes and needed to take insulin injections to protect my baby. He's a happy, healthy boy now, almost 5 years old, so that worked out fine. I've done quite a bit of research over the years around blood sugar, inflammatory diseases like diabetes, and healthy nutrition to understand this better and also to try to get my blood sugar under control. It's a journey that I've been on for a while and one that I'm still very much on today. I'm going to share with you 3 things that I learned so far about blood sugar and eating healthy that have helped me to have more energy, to have less mood swings, and to have better concentration and focus. At the end of the video, I'll give you 2 simple tips that you can use today to reduce spikes in blood sugar and improve your energy. Hi, I'm Mariela. I help introverts who work from home to create healthy habits so that they have more energy and improve focus without habits that feel forced or only last 2 weeks. On this podcast, I share the things that I'm researching and what I'm learning on my mission to understand what introverts really need to feel energized and to do the things that are important to them. I'll share with you some of the science behind these ideas and practical tips that might inspire you to live a happier, healthier life. Why is blood sugar important? Most of us still underestimate the impact of blood sugar. I know I did. We all know high blood sugar can cause diabetes. I didn't realize at the time that the way that I was eating was playing a big part in this. Research about this is ongoing though, and it's only recently that scientists have started to look at the importance of inflammation and nutrition in diabetes. For me, my journey with unhealthy eating started when I was really young. The normal diet where I'm from is quite high in carbs and sugars. We ate a lot of rice, breads, pastries, sweets. Growing up, I was what people would call a fussy eater. My parents did their best to give me a healthy diet. When I went to study and started living on my own, I had no idea really about healthy eating, and I sometimes survived for weeks on ramen, crackers, and apples. I didn't eat regularly either, and I'm the type of person who can forget to eat, especially when I'm creating and I'm like in my own world. In hindsight, it isn't surprising that all of this caused a lot of spikes in my blood sugar, and it ultimately led me to become pre-diabetic at 24. What is diabetes? There are different types of diabetes. Type 1 and type 2 are most common and most well known. Type 1 diabetes is genetic, and in this case, your body can't produce insulin. Insulin is a hormone that helps glucose that's in your blood get into your cells, where it's used for energy to run your body. The glucose gets into your bloodstream from the food that you eat. So sugars and carbs in our food are broken down into glucose, and this is what your body uses for energy. When insulin doesn't work properly, the glucose stays in your blood, and this is what's called high blood sugar or high blood glucose. With type 1 diabetes, your body doesn't produce insulin, and you need to take synthetic insulin to help move glucose from your blood into your cells. Type 1 diabetes is also called juvenile diabetes because it becomes obvious at a young age, and you need to start taking medication when you're very young. Then there's type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is known to be a lifestyle disease. That means that the things that you do in your everyday life are what's causing the disease. Think of stress, diet, exercise, and things like that. Yes, your genes play a role and they can increase your risk to get type 2 diabetes. But if 2 people have the same genetic risk and one eventually develops type 2 diabetes and the other one doesn't, that's going to be because of the difference in their lifestyle. A way to visualize this is that type 2 diabetes builds up over time. In laboratory tests, you can in a way see this buildup. The glucose in your blood increases over time because your body can't produce enough insulin to remove it anymore. One of the first stages of that is prediabetes. Prediabetic means that your blood sugar levels are elevated, but not as high as when you have diabetes. What does this have to do with energy dips, especially for introverts? Healthy nutrition is an important element for energy. It's literally the fuel that we put into our body, and what eventually our body is made of is from the food that we eat. A lot of introverts experience energy dips and sudden crashes in energy. What bothers a lot of introverts is the unpredictability of their energy. This often happens when we're not aware of our own energy needs. You may not be recharging physically and mentally in a way that's right for you. By tweaking what and when you eat, it can help you to stay energized for longer and to stop feeling like that low energy person that you thought you were. As you get to know yourself better and your energy needs better, you'll start to see that there is a predictability to your energy levels. I spent a lot of time on this podcast episode because there's a lot of negativity around nutrition, around body image, and eating healthy. I'm not here to judge anyone or to tell anyone how to live their lives. I'm just sharing from my personal journey in the hopes that it will inspire you so that you can live a healthier and happier life, whatever that looks like for you. Here are 3 things that I learned so far about eating healthy that have helped me to have more energy and to improve my focus. Number 1, food affects our physical and mental health. One of the things that shifted for me was simply realizing that how I was eating was affecting my energy levels, my mood, and my overall health, including my mental health. It was tricky though, I'm not gonna lie. We like to think that once we know something, that it will just click. That once you learn something, that will automatically make you take action. Sadly, knowing isn't always enough. As frustrating as it is, being motivated to make a change isn't always enough. I knew the data. I knew that many of my family members had type 2 diabetes, which made it more likely that I'd get it too. And that was most likely a mix of genetics and lifestyle. When I got pregnancy diabetes, I knew that that further increased my risk for getting diabetes, and it increased the risk of my child too. Enough motivation to make a change, right? From my studies, I knew that type 2 diabetes was primarily caused by lifestyle, and I knew that nutrition was important. Although I knew all this, I still didn't take action to eat healthier for a long time. When you've always lived a certain way, that just becomes your reality. Feeling low energy and tired all the time, that was just my reality. I had no real sense of what it could be to not feel that way. Our bodies and our minds are incredibly resilient, and it'll adjust to whatever circumstances it's in for as long as it can. What really needed to happen for me was that I needed to feel the difference. I needed to experience the positive effect of eating healthy, and I could only experience that by actually starting to eat more healthy. When I started to eat more healthy, I noticed very quickly that my energy and my mood became more stable. After a while, I noticed that I got more energy too. There were no more crashes on the couch after lunch and dinner. Where I was used to being completely spent by 5 p.m., I still had energy at 9 p.m. This was very surprising to me because I struggled with energy dips and keeping up with the world, so to speak, for years. I also struggled with depression for years. And noticing that my mood also stabilized was something that I never really imagined. I'm not saying that changing the way you eat is a solve-all cure, right? Depending on your health markers and your genetic makeup, changing your diet may not help you as much as you need to. But I want to let you know that it might be something to look at because we are still collectively underestimating the impact of nutrition. For me, I did suddenly think, whoa, maybe I'm not just a low energy person after all. Experiencing that positive side just opened up something for me that I didn't know was there. So eating healthy wasn't the only thing that caused these changes. There were a few other things that contributed as well. Things like setting boundaries with other people around me, learning to embrace my natural process as an introvert, So there was more to that increase in energy and focus, living a happier, healthier life than just nutrition. But eating healthy was one of the things that had a big impact for sure. Number 2 was changing my environment. The second thing that happened was changing my environment. In our case, it was a big change. We moved out of the big city and to a more rural area. Where I live now, there are a lot of small farms and farm shops around. It's really easy and even cheaper for me to buy from the local farm shops than it is to buy in the big supermarkets. Not all products, but certain products. So my access to whole food options has increased. And at the same time, my access to processed foods is a little bit more restricted than it was in Amsterdam. Studies show that when people eat a lot of processed or ultra-processed foods, it increases the risk for diseases like diabetes, heart disease, and autoimmune diseases. Think of mass-produced meat products, most cereals, cookies, juices. Those are examples of processed and ultra-processed foods. When people eat more whole foods, think of whole fruits and vegetables, meat, grains. This has been shown to not only lower the risk for disease, it can actually reverse some of the damage and improve people's health. Why was moving away such a big factor? Why did it have such a big impact? At the time, I didn't think moving would have the impact that it did, but it turns out it had a big impact. I sent a survey asking people what was holding them back from creating healthy habits at last. Across the different platforms, 44% of people said that they start enthusiastically, but then they slip back into old patterns. 31% of people said that the circumstances weren't right and that they were waiting for things to change. And the remaining 25% of people said that they didn't know where to start or how to break their goal into small steps. So the most important reason why we're not living happier and healthier lives is because we simply can't make our healthy habits stick. If that's you, you're definitely not alone. If you want my help one-on-one with that, I offer a coaching program that's designed to help you do exactly that. One of the classic ways to quickly incorporate a new habit, making the new habit easier to do, and at the same time making the habit you don't want it to make that one harder to do. Moving house, it's quite rigorous, right? You don't have to go to those lengths to make changes in your life or in your environment. Small habits that you can easily start with today, and that can start giving you that positive experience with healthy nutrition. Which leads me to the third thing that I've learned. Number 3, starting small versus going all in. What works better for you? Depending on the situation and your current lifestyle, the all or nothing approach or the starting small approach could be better for you. Some people love the idea of going all in, and they do really well with an all or nothing approach. If that's you and you want to change your eating habits, then something like 30-day challenge around healthy eating may be a great way to start getting that positive experience. If you've joined challenges and you notice that you just trail off after a few days, falling back into those old patterns, or maybe you've tried to go on a strict diet, but it just felt like absolute torture, the starting small approach could be better for you. I'm going to give you 2 easy tips that you can start using today. To be clear, these are not my ideas. They are glucose hacks from Jessie, the glucose goddess. I'll link to her website in the description, but I'll share with you 2 that I use and that I notice that are doing well for my energy also. One is the veggie starter. Vegetables are especially rich in fiber, and fiber helps the body to digest food better and decreases spikes in blood sugar. Fiber itself isn't digested, but that is what makes us feel full. It stimulates bowel movement and it slows down digestion of other foods a little bit so that your blood sugar doesn't spike and jumps up too fast. Adding fiber to your diet is one of the most important things you can do to have a healthy digestive system and a healthy gut microbiome. You can create a simple habit of eating 1 or 2 pieces of vegetables before a meal, or to eat the vegetables that are on your plate first before you eat the rest of your food. Doing this will keep your blood sugar more stable and it will improve your digestion. The other one is the vinegar hack. Some small studies have found that vinegar decreases spikes in your blood sugar. It's thought that the acetic acid in vinegar slows digestion, and it also makes it easier for the cells to take up the glucose that they need for energy. You can create a simple habit of drinking a glass of water with a teaspoon of vinegar before a meal to decrease blood sugar spikes. Remember that it's all about giving yourself opportunities to get those positive experiences with food. Enjoying food and also experiencing the positive effect that healthy nutrition has to feel that energy and that easy focus. If you want to learn more about how to create healthy habits with ease, I'm working on a new training that teaches introverts who work from home how to easily learn healthy habits without relying too much on willpower or discipline. I need your help though. I would like to know what would be the most helpful to you to learn around this topic. So please help by picking your favorite topic from the 3 options. There's a link in the description to a form where you can vote. Your vote means a lot and it will help to make a better training so that learning healthy habits can be even easier for all of us. As a thank you, I'll send you the training for free as soon as it's released. Thank you for hanging out with me today and talk soon.